Good morning, everyone. All right, great. So, why decentralization matter? Let me give you the short version. Because it's about time that we decide our future. But I'd like to give you the more reason and longer version too. The blockchain, as we all know, is a decentralized database where readable by everyone, writable by everyone, inalterable by everyone. So decentralization is in our very, very definition of what a blockchain is. Decentralization is key in a blockchain. However, it's not easy to achieve. Definitions must be implemented. It's not enough to say, I want the perfect island. How do I get there? Where is it? And true implementation need true technology. I'm going to have a claim that decentralization needs technology. What is the challenge? The challenge in a blockchain is not in securing that all the blocks cannot be altered and the order of the block cannot be altered. That is easy. This is ancient cryptography, defined to be before me, even I enter the stage. This technology is there, and every blockchain uses. The challenge is who chooses the next block. The challenge is consensus, our first challenge. So decentralization matters, I claim, in security, in participation, and where I'm going to spend most of my time today in interoperability. Let me start with security. The traditional logic on a blockchain is as follows. The whole economy is secure if and only if the majority of a small piece of the economy are honest. Sounds puzzling? It should be, because it makes no sense. So, let me put a graphical for you. Here in red is the big whole economy, and you see this green dot that you don't see it? Let me amplify it for you. Okay. Those are the part of the economy that must be honest for the whole system to work. Who are this green part? They are the miners in proof of work. They are the delegates in delegated proof of stake, etc., etc., etc. Nations, institutions, what are you waiting for? Run to join such an economy. Yes, they will run, but they will run away. So this logic is a recipe for disasters, particularly if you really want to use our loved blockchain for doing real things and having a real impact in the world. So the only source of security is decentralization. In decentralization, we trust. How to achieve it? Each one of us should be empowered to achieve it in better ways. Let me tell you the way that we at Algorand achieve it. Two principles. Every token has the same power of every other token. They're not the tokens of the delegates who are more powerful than some other token. All tokens are equal, and most token in honest hands means security. In other words, to subvert the system, we must conspire with each other. And when we have a majority of the token, then we can shoot down the very economy that we own the majority of. To me, that is much preferable than to put the entire economy at the mercy of a very small thing. And it's not, by the way, if I'm willing, but nations are not willing. Big institutions are not willing to become slavers or whatever miners or whatever little delegates. They will never do it. Participation. I hope you won't belong to the blockchain world if you are not already a blockchainer, but please ask yourself the most fundamental question. The consensus test, I call it. Ask, if I want, can I participate to your consensus? If the answer is, certainly, buy a bunch of supercomputers and join our consensus, then run. If the answer is, sorry, but we already have an elite club and they are in charge of our consensus, also run. So, true participation comes out of true decentralization. In our case, what do we interpret this is the following. Everybody is welcome to participate, but that is not enough. Everybody should have the means to participate. If you cannot participate to consensus with a simple laptop, forget it. This is an elite of the few. This is not really the democratic, decentralized economy we are here to create. Interoperability. Why interoperability? Because no blockchain is an island. Why? Because the world outside is always larger than the world inside. Take it by me. So if you put up a private blockchain, congratulations, you'll be the first prisoners of your own castle. So the blockchain interoperability is a big aspiration. The freedom of movement of assets, that the assets they want to go where they're best served. You want to do a particular transaction with another blockchain, is better to do when you are. Go there, then come back, then to another blockchain. It should be a very flexible, interoperable ecosystem. The benefits of blockchain interoperability are essentially unlimited. However, there is a big difference, a big gap between pure aspiration and real technology. Right? I can't fly, that's a problem. So today, this interoperability is actually slow, is costly, is complex, is dangerous even, and finally, is centralized. So let me put it in the words of a very European Commission, who has the merit of having recognized the importance of decentralization and interoperability rather, and they actually say, to prevent fragmentation, it is necessary to define a single pan-European framework that will enable the cross-border recognition of true services supporting the operation of electronic ledgers. What a beautiful prose. But what should it mean? It's easy to belong in aspiration. I dictate this, I want this, I want the other. At the end, we must realize whatever we want. Should it mean that all of Europe be on the same blockchain? Well, let it be Algorand. Should it be that the interoperability of blockchain provided that they have the same consensus protocol? That will make much easier for blockchain to interoperate. Or should it mean, as I believe it should mean, interoperability among different blockchains with different consensus? The problem is, to implement the last vision, is that main chains have different consensus. How different? Very different. So we have a proof of work, a delegated proof of stake, a bonded proof of stake, a pure proof of stake, blah, 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 blah. So what to do? When you don't know what to do, centralize. That's what I've been educated for since, growing up. So you have a blue chain, you have a red chain, they want to exchange assets, services, whatever, and somebody pops up to say, let me introduce myself. I am the grand centralizer. My token bridge is trusted by you all. Here it is. Feel free to put services across and assets across. And you say, this? Do you want to work over that? So what do you mean? Are you afraid that this bridge is not going to be there after you transfer the assets? Do you dare to not trust me? As a matter of fact, yes, I do, you creepy centralizers. That's not the way I want to have things organized. Temptation number 2. Also very low tech. Okay, of course you don't trust one person, but now we have 5. And he needs a conspiracy of 3 out of the 5 for this bridge not to work. Don't you feel so much better now? What are you waiting for? Ship goods, assets back and forth as you wish. And by the way, we also post some bonds. If we misbehave, this money, you can confiscate it. Really? How are you confiscated? Not by smart contract, because you are in between a blockchain A and a blockchain B. By suing in court, which jurisdiction? And even if we are in the same jurisdiction, let me make it clear. A blockchain that works should secure trillions in assets, in yuan, in dollars, in euros, and et cetera, et cetera. So actually, this will be a gigantic economy on the blue side, a gigantic economy on the red side, and these five, people with their piggy banks, they don't have enough assets to make you whole if the bridge fails to exist at the very end. Thank you very much. So then, what do? Decentralization matter? Yes, we should have decentralized token bridges. And let me tell you what we at Algorand believe this should mean. So our philosophy is the following. Shield transfer assets from the blue chain to the red chain, two things are true. First, she already trusts the blue chain because that's where she keeps her assets. Two, she trusts the red chain because that's where she wants to transfer her assets. And our philosophy is, and should not trust anybody else, period. That's the beauty of the decentralized bridge. And so how do we achieve that, right? Because again, in English, in Italian, it will become easier for me too. In all other languages, we can define whatever we want, but somehow this has been sustained by some technology. Otherwise, we do not make ourselves a favor. In our case, this technology is compact chain certificates. We call them state proofs, but if I had to have my say, I would call compact chain certificates, CCC. And what are these? These are compact and easily parsable representation of the will of the entire chain that you can prove to another chain, no matter how different the consensus protocol might be. So the strategy, our strategy is the following. First of all, you take a cryptographic commitment to all PK token balances. This public key has this many tokens, blah, 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 for every asset. As you know, cryptographic commitment is very small, 256 bytes. Wow, they can nail down who owns what. Step number two, because you want to represent this is the status of your blockchain elsewhere, and you want to trust the blockchain and not 1, 2, or 3 individuals, have 80% of the stake, sign the damn thing. Well, Silvio, but 80% of the chain, if it is the decentralized chain, can be thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of signatures, is going to be a big object that you want to move around. True enough. But now we have the more mathematical, magical part in which you have essentially a signature reduction, in which you have, in a convincing way, shrink all these possible millions of signatures to something very, very small, as 128 signatures. And these 128 signatures represent all the absent other signatures, and you are the guarantee that 80% of the blockchain is saying X. That's, in my opinion, is really the way to go. You have a very compact, easily parsable way that you go around, representing not my will, not what I say, but what 80% of the stake in each blockchain says. Let me derive some conclusions, because I have 6 minutes to go. My take is, look, I'm a passionate blockchainer. I'm a passionate technologist. In fact, I was a technologist before I was a blockchainer. However, it is clear to me, and it should be clear to all of us, that blockchain is not about technology, how elegant the technology may be. The blockchain is about us and our aspiration. But let's be clear, without technology, the blockchain cannot be what we wanted and needed to be. So, I think that technology is our friend. And this is a picture taken in France, this very day, in the south of France, I'm afraid. A bit more sunny, there are some kayakers there having a great time. This is Le Pont du Gard, the bridge over the Gard River. And that bridge has been in existence for over 2,000 years. And it still stands. and has brought together people living on different sides of a river and able to transact, interact, exchange ideas, goods, services, relationships, and so on and so forth. And it's beautiful. And the blockchain is going to be the public blockchain, as beautiful as any architecture that we ever built, bar none. So, long live technology. Never be afraid of technology. Technology makes us more humans. When we came down from the trees and created our first tool, we became more, not less human. So long live technology, long live blockchain, and thank you very much.